Here is a General Electric model T270A AM/FM tube type table radio. And here's the tube layout. It looks like it has a 19JN8 FM mixer and oscillator, 12BA6 first IF amp, 12BE6 AM converter, 12AU6 or the 19HV8 maybe the second FM IF amp, and the 12AU6 the FM limiter. I think also in the 19HV8 is the audio preamplifier stage, then the 50HK6 is the output. I'm thinking that this actually has 3 stages of FM IF amplification, but I'll have to just double check to be sure, because both of these larger tubes are triode pentode tubes. The output transformer has negative feedback coming from the orange and yellow windings here. And I had to put on a new surge resistor on this. There was a short in the power supply and it burned out part of the filament on the original Sylvania 50HK6 tube. Part of the tube's filament acts as a fusible resistor going into the power supply. And also the original wire wound resistor was bad. It was originally this one. And I think originally they used a flexible resistance wire type resistor in this application. But this resistor seems to do the job. The voltage is 130 volts at the rectifier cathode, so I think it will be okay. And I put a new 1N4007 diode in there and new filter capacitors. This one's real easy to replace the capacitors because the original capacitor is mounted on the side with a screw, so it's real easy to mount the terminal strip on there. I've got another one like this at home, but it's the plastic case version. But I think these were some really good performing radios. Have good FM sensitivity and good sound quality. But then I think the later GEs that use a transistorized FM tuner but a tube type rest of the radio weren't quite as good. Okay, I do have it plugged in so I can turn on the power here. And this has lighted dials for AM and FM. You can sort of see down in there's a neon lamp and it lights up either the FM or AM dial depending on which position you have the switch in. But it's kind of hard to see. It's really only good for complete dark illumination. You can't tell here, but it was hot that Jim had a rose was red and her eyes were blue. Let's turn it around here now. It's a very nice looking radio. The only problem may be it kind of has too much of a bass boost. I think in the modern day radio stations may be transmitting more bass than they did back in the 60s. So I might try to see if I can set up a way to kind of reduce the bass or at least be able to control it. Because the tone control just reduces the treble, really. Some stations seem to over-exaggerate the bass, but it's really not too bad. It's really sensitive.
In the sunset light, there's no need to be afraid. And down his body, if diesel's worth the price of gold, it's the cheapest grain.
Beer and tobacco too, all in the drive-thru, only at Eskimo Hut. Believe it, any size soft drink for just $1.25.
The all-new 2010 lineup of Victory motorcycles has arrived at Medessa Motorcycle.
You cutting it close. Forget browsing the net at lunchtime. This is go time. Yes, the hard holiday truth is you're mere days from becoming...
1960.7 FM presenta al rey del acordeón, Ramón Ayala.
Got variety from yesterday and today, and I'm reading that Apple has bought Lala, a streaming music company. Here's Mariah Carey. Thanks for making us your first choice on the After Work Happy Hour.
Let's try the lighted dial feature. Let me see if I can turn the lights out here. You can sort of see it, but it's really only good like if you had it in a pitch dark room. You can't really see the illumination with regular room lights. Can't see it very well. Let me switch to AM and you'll see the light switch. See here, should be able to get some AM reception.
New Catholic, obviously the world of the Navy sometimes can be very tempting to lose internal peace. There's two things I did. I kept the rosary in my pocket, so at times I could always reach for the rosary.
It's kind of getting toward dark, so I think there may not get as good a reception of local stations.
Wow, what's the coolest thing you've learned from the book so far?
She had children, stick them to fire. She has children, she took them to the fair.
Organization. Roger says the contract was put out for public bid several months ago. We'll take a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street for today. David Johnson will be in just a minute as the TSN Evening News continues right after this.
May have a bit of a loose tube there. I better check the tubes again. I sprayed the contacts, but I need to double check the AM converter.
96 Basin's new country leader with Vince.
Now the AM is working good. Had to reseat the AM converter tube.
But late in the day, we started reacting.
You're not around anything flammable, are you?
I don't, that's a good question. I should have asked some questions before I got this.
Do not use your cell phone.